What's up, everybody? Happy New Year. It's your boy Josh, and
TCAT, Travis Utley, real fine by
what's
me,
up?
back at it again.
How you doing, Travis?
I'm doing okay, battling in some illnesses. I know you have been too. We're a little bit late to recording this, but
Man, it could be
my
around all
wife,
my sisters and brothers' kids during the holidays. Y'all got me sick, coughing in my mouth.
my wife's sick from working at the hospital. It's going around right now, the bird flu or something. I don't know.
It's something crazy going on. I don't know. It's like I haven't like really I had a little bit of a fever yesterday, but it was like low grade, like
Yeah.
99 and a half, 100. And then it like I got up and I was cooking supper just because I got tired of just laying around, man. Like I don't like to sit still. And I feel like the more you sit still, like it just makes me feel like worse sometimes, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
Like unless I'm just like dog tired, you know what I mean? So like yeah, I don't know I just coughing and sneezing. I ain't used to this stuff. Usually everything I get, they just gotta cut something off. So
Well, we're neither one of us have been feeling that great, but that's a good time to lay around on the couch and watch a movie. So why don't we see what we got to watch for
oh
today?
yeah.
Let's see what's
You
on
gonna
that
be
wheel.
give us a spin there, Travis.
All right. 21 Jump Street. Man,
21 Jump Street, a classic from the
the
year
classic.
2012, directed
Yeah.
by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and starring Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, Ice Cube, Rob Riggle, Dave
Oh,
Franco,
there's a whole bunch
Brie
of people in this
Larson,
one.
and many more.
So I'm gonna go get me one of these Travis Fixer elixirs of mine, sit down, watch a movie, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Sounds good.
Yo, it's Josh and TCAT. Best believe that. Reeling in the truth. Stacking on the film snack. Popcorn popping. Critics keep talking. On this podcast, ain't no time for stalking. Real fine by me, we keeping it free. Josh and TCAT, the hosts you wanna see. Movie reviews, jokes that ain't new. Keep it locked in, cause we know what to do. Lights, camera, action, movie main attraction. Critics we ain't, but we got that passion. Breaking down the scenes, funny like memes. Josh and T-Cat, man, living the dream.
All right. Man,
How's
that
it?
movie is funnier than it should be. I mean, to be honest with you. Um,
I
I
didn't
what
realize it was a remake of a TV show.
Oh, really? That's the one thing I knew about it going in the first time was that it was a remake. And uh, we can just start this off. You said before it's a rated R comedy action, debuted
Yeah,
on March 18th of 2012 with a budget of $42 million. And I got here that
that
it grossed
was
over 200 million.
fun
So,
fact. That was my little boy's first birthday,
oh, wow. So he turned one
March
on the same day this
18th.
was
That's right.
nice.
Yeah, that explains a lot how he is now at almost 14.
Yeah. So, you alluded to it earlier. I know you watched this. You got Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, which is a very good combo, I believe. Uh, Ice
Yeah, they
Cube,
are a
Brie
good combo.
Larson, Dave Franco, some other people in this movie. Star-studded cast. Rob Riggle, uh, Ellie Kemper from The Office is in here.
Yeah, she's a teacher.
Jake Johnson
He's the
from New Girl,
principal.
Nick Offerman, Dakota Johnson, which is Don Johnson's daughter, but she's probably better known for her role in 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, she is
Uh,
in 50 Shades. I always try
yeah.
to place her. That is right. Also,
So
Madam Web.
yeah, she is in that as well. So very star-studded cast. A lot of these people weren't real famous actors at the time, but they have blown up in their own right since then. Um,
I thought Brie
Very
Larson
funny.
looked a little old for a high school.
Yeah, and
All of them do, obviously,
that's a
but
topic I
Jonah
wanted
Hill
to
could pass,
that's a
I
topic I
think.
wanted to talk about. There is a lot of innuendo on adult and child sexual relationships in this movie.
Dude, it's insane.
There's a high school teacher obviously trying to have sex with a high school student, and then
The
there is
Ellie
a
Kemper.
then there's a police officer posing as a high school student trying to have sex with a high school student.
What gets me, okay, so I'm gonna give just a real quick
They
run of
do
view
say that
of
Brie
the
Larson's character is of age. Her name's Molly. They do make it a point to say she's 18.
She's 18, yeah,
Yeah,
because like they're like kissing and going to the prom together and
yeah,
stuff. And Jonah Hill's so awkward. But see, Jonah Hill, real quick overview of the movie. So Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill go undercover as police officers, as high school students to infiltrate the dealer and find the supplier. That's
that's
just a
that's
funny
it.
like Ice Cube says it so many times in the movie. I infiltrate the dealer, find the supplier. So there's this new drug. What was the name of the drug?
Uh, HFY
Yeah,
or
hi-fi.
A it yeah, it's HYF.
Yeah, it was an
Hell yeah.
acronym. Hell yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah, something like that.
Yeah, hi-fi is in 22 Jump Street, the sequel. I sometimes get
That's
them
Wi-Fi.
crossed. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Wi-Fi. I
yeah,
get them crossed. I had to be careful with that when I was doing my notes. But so they're undercover police officers, and their office is in a Korean Christian church
yep,
that Ice Cube is the boss of, and there's other like I guess like partnerships or units that are working are doing the same thing that Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are doing in other schools in areas too, trying to find the same thing. So the movie had an original budget of 42 to 55 million dollars.
yeah. I got
And can
42.
you guess? Can, did you write down or see what the box office take was?
I wrote down 201 million is what it
I
brought
got
in.
201.6 is what I
Yeah.
found. That's pretty
So
big. That's pretty
that is,
good
yeah,
for a
which
comedy, especially.
that's why we ended up with the second one. And I'm surprised we
Man,
haven't ended up with more, to be honest with you. They're really good. They're great popcorn movies, just to
you
enjoy.
can just
And
throw them on, man. Like, you could just, if you're like doing something around the house, like that's what I did. Cause I watched it, of course, after we got it picked. And then, I just put it on again, like while I was like just, cleaning around the house
yeah,
or piddling, whatever, just to have it on like background noise, just because it's like it's wild to say it's a feel good movie just because it's about drugs and
right.
underage, all this stuff. But it kind of is because it's just silly.
Um, it look in uh my discoveries. I looked up. Channing Tatum passed on this two times, and Jonah Hill had to
Mm-hmm.
talk him into it. Um,
Let's see that.
there's the original cast from the TV show have some cameos in here. Johnny Depp and
Richard
the
Grieco.
yeah, they play the DEA agents at the end of the movie that come out, so you see them throughout the movie as part of this gang. Um, but like I said, I really enjoyed this thing. If you want to kind of break it down, we can go through some of the stuff.
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, it starts out like you see them is actually in high school, like real time. Like Channing Tatum's like this popular jock, gets like he's like prom king, but he's dumb.
2007.
Yeah, he's dumb as a box of rocks, which is
Yeah,
also the year I graduated. Pretty sick.
nice.
So, and Jonah Hill's like typical like nerd, like he's awkward around chicks. He gets
They
bullied a
don't
little bit.
they don't have first names. They're even credited in the credits as Jonah Hill's character Smitty
Smitty, yeah.
and Channing Tatum's character Jinko. So they don't ever
Jinko.
really give them their or Janko or however they pronounce it. They don't ever give them their first names. Those are their
Yeah,
last
there
names.
it's kind of in not like what's the opposite of it's interpersonal. It's like kind of like you
Yeah,
don't ever like know like their real life
right.
except like they live once they get like this undercover job that we just talked about. They live with Jonah Hill's actual mom and
Yes.
dad. And they're in on it. Like they know like they're police officers and his mom has this best friend and she's like the typical like nosy like woman and she's
Nosy neighbor.
like yeah, yeah, just like thinks that she oversteps all the time with like Jonah Hill and stuff and she's like, "Oh, I hear she's pretty much nosy, but I think she sincerely cares too, I guess, but we'll touch back on that here a little bit later." So they go to work at this school and the roles pretty much like flip because now like it's 2012 and everybody's kind of woke. So
Yeah,
Dave Franco, which is the antagonist of the movie and the head like drug dealer or whatever, the supplier, he's
yeah.
like huge into the environment and like
Man,
so
he's
they
good in this movie. Like
he is
he does
good.
a great job at acting in this movie. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed his performance.
But it shows them like rolling up to high school on their first day and like they're in this badass like 70 Camaro and
That
like
thing's sweet.
Yeah, it's sweet, silver with black stripes, and he's like Channing Tatum's like think he's like back in high school, like cool guy, kind of like a bad boy, and he's like fuck it, we'll just park in the handicap spot. So they whip in there, and everybody's just kind of staring at him, and Dave Franco is like, how many miles a gallon you get in that thing, like whatever, and he's like more like six or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
way less, and he's like, oh, way to care about the environment. So right off the bat, you see like things have changed, like the
right.
whole like atmosphere in this like
The
high
whole
school.
the whole one strap or two straps was a big deal,
Yeah,
right?
dude. Yes.
When I went to high school, it was one strap. You had to one strap it.
See, when I
Now
was
it's
in
two
high school,
straps.
we didn't even carry backpacks. You was a loser if you even took your books home. You know what I mean? We were like a loser
Who
if you
needs?
tried to be
Look at him
smart.
trying.
Yeah. Yeah, like you just had to do your work like that morning, like like a damn stressful rush before class started.
So
But yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
they get he gets in a fight with a black guy, and he turns out to be gay, and he's like, "You punched me because I'm gay," and he's like, "No, I didn't know. You just happened to be gay."
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure he calls him gay, doesn't he? Like, don't
Yeah,
be gay or something, and knocks him
yeah,
out. And he's like, I can't believe you hit me. He's also gay and black, which kind of, now
yes,
looking 10, 12 years later, we're like, oh, okay, this is some incredible foresight on how like things were going to be, or whatever. But so they get in on the job, and Channing Tatum ends up pretty much alienating himself with the
right,
cool crowd, and Jonah Hill gets in tight with them.
yes,
So Brie Larson, and then they get their schedules flip-flopped, and
yeah,
Channing Tatum gets in all the classes, like all these like smart people classes,
right.
and Jonah Hill's character gets into like drama and like pretty much like show up classes.
Which Janko Channing Tatum's character ends up making friends with all the smart kids. He doesn't feel like he fits in at the beginning, so much so that they show up in the second movie too, very
Yes,
quickly. So they're helping him out in the second movie as well. But he uses them to tap uh Eric's phone, Dave Franco's character, to find out
right.
what's going on. It's the typical back and forth. There's a lot of action, a lot of running around. Um,
They get
it's
into a
an
fight at
action
the
movie.
party. Remember, they're
Yes,
they're at the house party, which is Jonah Hill's parents' real house,
right.
and she's big into like Native American, like historical artifacts and all this stuff. So like he has like these nice vases all around, like and these
Yeah,
high school kids are partying. Well, Dave Franco shows up. Channing Tatum pretty much like pulls his phone out of his pocket to what you were talking about, and him and those nerds like jailbreak that phone where they can listen in on conversations that he's having to try to find out where these drugs are coming from. So that fight happens because, like, well, while they're getting the phone, they're about to leave, and I guess like the rival gang shows up from like a different school and like confronts
yes,
Eric, Dave Franco's character. So he hears them fighting. So he runs downstairs and like all hell breaks loose. And they're fighting. Well, Jonah Hill's doing everything he can to not fight this guy. He's got pillows in front of him, like swatting him. So they get through this fight, and like Jonah Hill ends up being like the hero. Well, the fight's over with. So they turn around, and he's got like one of those artifacts like stuck in his back, like a
yep.
horn or like a spear or something. And he's like, "Oh my God!" So they end up yanking that thing out, and so I think after that is that whenever,
That's when Eric decides they're cool. It was the best
yeah,
party he's ever been to. They're cool. They can be part of it. They're infiltrating the dealer now. They've
right.
they've made it. They've made the first step. Um, so it's the coolest thing he's ever seen, is what he said, and he can trust them. So they infiltrated the dealer, and he's set up to show them who the supplier is now, and they got a
Right.
big deal going down. What we find out is Schmitty, through his, because the class mix-ups, he ends up in the drama class and has been cast as the lead to Peter Pan. And then
Peter Pan.
they find out that this big deal is going down right as the show's about to start, and he has to run out, all while they're still fighting.
Yeah.
Schmitty and Janko are fighting, so they have to run out to try to figure out this deal. Uh, so because this biker gang that we meet in the very first scene of the movie uh, is buying this drugs from Eric, and it's supposed to be the big deal that gets this drug to be mainstream and makes them a lot of money. So they take off in a big car chase, explosions that are all over the place. It's kind of a running gag in this movie. Things that are supposed to explode don't, and things that don't explode
Yeah, man.
do. Yeah.
It almost had like a other guy's feel for a little bit,
Yes, for a
like
little
I
bit for
don't,
sure.
it's pretty wild.
Um, they do all that. He gets back. They're still fighting. He gets back, interrupts the play, tries to take his position again. Right? He,
Yeah, like there's a
but
guy like already up there acting.
yeah,
Like they're in the middle of this play and he's like, all right, man, I got it. And like tries to like get him to leave.
they hook him up to
The
the
cables.
the cable so that he can fly, and then Django comes running in, and we have like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon comedy fight scene here. He's flying through the air, they're tackling each other. Uh, it's a pretty crazy mess.
It actually
Yeah,
made the play worth watching, I think.
yeah. And
God.
Molly, Brie Larson's character, decides that she is done with Schmitty and is going to leave him alone. And this kind of starts his arc of him losing the girl only to regain her back at the end.
It's a
So
I think every comedy movie just about turns into a love story, doesn't it?
for sure, there's
A
always
lot of
love in it,
times.
right?
Yeah, it gotta be, yeah.
Uh,
Because I think a lot of because he's such like a lovable loser. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
even though like him and like Channing Tatum have like their problems, they're just you can tell they're close
right.
and it's more like a brother kind of
Yeah, they're
banter.
fighting like
Like,
brothers. They're going to be fine.
yeah, right, yeah. So like, it's also funny like how shitty of a cops they are. Like they're like absolutely terrible cops.
Don't even
Like
know how to
they
read the Miranda rights. Is the whole thing to the whole movie.
yes,
They don't know the Miranda rights because they always cut off in the shows, so they don't know them.
right.
Yeah, so after they do all um, this fighting at the Peter Pan show, they Eric takes them to meet the dealer, and we find out it's their gym coach, Rob
Rob
Riggle.
Riggle,
Yeah, which is a
and he's a
funny guy.
freak.
He has to be one of the best like comedy supporting actors out there, right? Like I don't
It's
want to
very
watch a movie that
physical comedy. It's physical comedy. Like you don't want to,
I
like you said, you don't want him to be like
leading
like a
star.
lead.
No,
Yeah.
but if he's behind Will Ferrell or
Or like
um,
Zach Galifianakis in The
yeah, something like
Hangover.
that. He
Yeah.
does a great job. So
Yeah.
very funny. He's always seen eating Cool Ranch Doritos, which little
I didn't
tidbit.
even notice that.
That's why when Smitty and Jinko take the drugs in the classroom, they're like, they taste like Cool Ranch Doritos. Well, he's
Yeah.
making them, and he's always got the dust on his fingers when he's making these drugs. That's why they taste like Cool Ranch Doritos.
That's hilarious. I
So
didn't even notice that.
yeah, um, they find out it's him. Um, so they're going to take him down. They decide to do it at prom.
Prom, yep, they get all
Yeah,
dressed up. And you
yep,
see them in the bathroom, and they're like helping each other out
yeah. They're kind
and
of
getting each
mending their
other dressed.
relationship
Yeah.
because
Getting on the same page again
they kind of lost their gig with 21 Jump Street, so now they're doing this on their own.
to
Um,
try to get back in good graces.
right.
Yeah.
So they get to prom, everything, all hell ensues. Schmitty finally tells Molly that he's been lying to her, he's a cop, all this stuff. But he really felt something for her, kind of in that arc, like, them getting back together at the end of the movie, she kisses him and stuff.
Even though he's 10 years older than her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how Jonah Hill gets like so deep that he's trying to get into colleges to
Yes.
he said I can get into Berkeley. That's like
Yeah.
it's like what do you mean? Like what do you mean, man? Like you're in way too deep.
Which, uh,
The funny thing is whenever
spoiler
they
alert,
cast
they end up in college in the
you're right.
second one. So
I'm sure if whoever's watching this, if they're on this page, they've definitely seen 21 and 22 Jump
yeah, for
Street.
sure. I actually ended up watching them back to back just because I enjoyed the first one so
We
much.
did, yeah, they're good. I like
So
them. They're funny.
at the
Fun
end of
fact,
the go
oh
ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Well, I was just gonna say, we're talking about ages. Hill was 28 during this movie, and Channing Tatum was 31.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Channing
So
Tatum didn't look 31 though,
no,
to
not at
me.
all. I
No.
didn't realize he was that old.
Uh-uh.
Um, so they get to the end of this movie and they have a confrontation with Rob Riggle's character. Um, and finally, um, Schmitty decides to shoot his gun. It's been a running gag that he never pulls the trigger.
Right.
And lo and behold, he shoots him in the penis. Shoots
Yeah.
his
Blows
penis
it
off.
off. Shoots it
Blows
off.
it
He's like, ah,
off.
you shoot my penis off. Which is
So
funny in the second one, the 22
yes,
Jump Street.
yeah, which is a running gag that carries over to the second movie. So
Right.
um, they finally they both took a bullet for each other in this movie. which was running a running thing. Tatum always said he would take a bullet for Jonah Hill's character, and at the end they both do it. So
Yeah,
they both end up being shot. Um, but they they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They caught the supplier. He ends up behind bars. Uh, Schmitty gets the girl. You know, in credits, everything's
a
great.
tale as old as time.
Right?
Everybody goes out and it kind of sets it up for the sequel. I
Yeah.
thought it was a really
So
good movie, man.
yeah. So they had to remove a line the drama teacher said about doing lines of cocaine with Whitney Houston because right
Ah,
before they
she
released this
just
movie,
died.
she died. Uh, Emma Stone was considered to play Molly before they had Brie Larson sign on.
But she was already filming The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the writers of Superbad, did some rewrites of the script, but they were not credited for them.
Do you know who Jonah Hill wanted to be the original director of the movie?
I didn't write that down.
Rob Zombie.
Oh, that would, I don't know if that would have been a, I think it
He was
turned out,
big then. Now, you think about how
yeah,
big Rob Zombie, like
yeah,
your
but
House of Thousand Corpses and
in the horror genre, you know,
right. Which I think some of those movies are pretty funny too. Like just like the
yeah.
actors. Obviously, it's terrible situations, but yeah. But yeah, I
Um,
don't have a lot of Hill
they're,
wrote the part of the captain with Ice Cube in mind.
yeah. So their last name is their last names that they take when they go to school is McQuaid. That's a gag from the TV show. Every time the TV show they went and assumed an alter ego, their last names were always McQuaid.
McQuaid.
So so in this movie they did the exact same thing. So
Mhm.
um, apparently Jonah Hill lost 40 pounds for this role.
I seen that. Dude,
Um,
he's a shapeshifter. That dude can change his body.
he's probably lost another 60 pounds since then. He's a
And
little
got
bitty now.
jacked.
Mhm.
For that one movie, he got kind of jacked.
Yeah,
But yeah, that can't be good for you to like
yeah,
lose, like to like gain and drop weight like that. Because you like think about him in Superbad, how he looks.
yeah.
Of
So
course, it's just wild.
we referenced Dakota Johnson of 50 Shades of Grey fame, and
Uh-huh.
her partner in this movie. They were off doing other things and kept coming in and saying, "Well, we did this, we did this." The stuff that they were doing were actual plots from episodes of the TV show.
Ah,
So when they said they did something, you could go back and find an episode of the TV show where they did that in that episode. So it
huh.
was kind of a callback for them to say, "Hey, this is from the TV show."
That's pretty clever. I like
Yeah,
that.
real smart,
It
real
is
smart.
smart.
So.
Yeah, I didn't like I said, had I not I'd probably missed some stuff because I didn't realize it was like a remake of a show. I had thought maybe it was like a remake, but it was 1987. I wasn't even born yet. So, I would have been like, you would have probably been like,
I
maybe
was
like,
five.
well,
I was
you would have
five.
been like, but like, while like reruns would have been like probably like
Yeah.
the early to mid 90s. You might have caught them on Nick at Night or something.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've ever actually watched one episode of that. I mean, not that I can remember. I just knew it was a thing, right?
Dude, the
Like,
80s had some baller ass crime
yeah.
shows.
So, yeah, and Dakota's dad, Don Johnson,
Miami Vice.
was Miami Vice as a
Now
TV
I do
character
know that
too.
show. I love some Miami Vice.
So, um, so I got some I know we've got a little bit of time. I got a couple crazy reviews I want to
Let's
share
hear
with
them
you with
before
this,
my
okay?
voice gives out. Yeah,
Yeah. So this one's kind of long and kind of goes off the rails. So just hang with me here.
good. I like that.
This is a 1-star review. This movie was overall good, but near the end of the movie, Seth from Superbad, played by previously fat Jonah Hill, who is now playing a skinnier cop, shoots a guy in the penile region. Some would call it the private parts, the hog, the old snake. It doesn't matter what you call the phallus of a man when it's being shot. The issue is they show this supposed penis shot off and it's visibly on the floor, and it is immediately 100% obvious it is not a pecker. It's like some boiled hot dog type object that's ridiculous. They can spend millions on a movie, but the scene showing what should be a mangled, decapitated, bloody, shot off penis is shown as a cheap BS prop that doesn't even resemble an actual weenie. This movie has therefore proven to be completely fake and was ruined for me. I
Golly.
immediately left the theater and demanded a refund for my ticket and six popcorns and was denied. These kids think they can show me a fake movie and the food I eat during it isn't able to be refunded. That's stupid. I angrily ordered two more large popcorns and went to watch a different movie, hoping I'd find a nice young girl to impress with my story and popcorn, but couldn't find anyone whose parents would move when I asked if I could sit with their kids. The theater sucks, and
Jeez.
this movie is totally fake. And G, G to the eight. I'm not home eating homemade popcorn for damn near 5,000% cheaper than the theaters. Writing this review to warn others, don't be a victim. And another note for LG, I get I get 1 star for your horrible keyboard that can't even handle a little popcorn. Horrible company to learn and to make a keyboard that doesn't break when a little popcorn is stuck to it. Thanks, assholes. 1 star.
I think this person has a lot of underlying.
I think he was trying to be funny.
Yeah, I think it was. It was pretty funny. If it wasn't being, I think it was a bit, but if it wasn't, that guy definitely needs to seek some therapy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me pull up
He was
this.
very, I think, yeah, it would almost have to be a bit the way that they were so concerned about the penis being fake.
Yeah, for sure. I think he was
Yeah,
just trying to be funny.
it's pretty funny.
I think this is the funny. This is another one. I think this is the funniest film of the 2010s. Don't at me. I don't think I've ever laughed this much when watching a movie. Not even when I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I'm
Yeah,
serious. When this film came out, was still plenty young and innocent, so I didn't really find it all that interesting. However, I understood the plot and thought it was interesting. However, as I grew older, I rewatched it and had the best time. The jokes are random, but they fit the tone perfectly. Definitely a top 10 favorite. 5 stars.
nice. It is a good one.
So,
It is a good one. Well, are you ready to hear my
give me
fine by my
just,
real fine by me rating?
hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
I gave
Well,
it a solid 3.3, which is
mostly
pretty much
fine by me.
mostly fine by me. It hits all the check marks. I'm going to be, we probably won't never see a five out of Josh. So I
It's
don't
gonna
think
have,
nothing's a five.
yeah,
But
if
for a
we end up,
comedy
yeah,
movie from the 2010s, I was in my early 20s. So it was, I understand more of it now being in my late 30s than I
yeah,
did in my early 20s. So it's way funnier now because
for
you're like,
sure.
God, this nonsense. But yeah, 3.3 for me.
I got you. So I have some movies in my head that I consider a five. Um, if we ever get to those, I will definitely rank those as fives. But this one here, I'm gonna go with a 3.1. I
Nice.
think
We're always
it's,
pretty close.
I think it's mostly fine by me. It's not a top tier comedy out of this world. Like that guy said from the Google review, he said it's not Monty Python. I think he's completely crazy.
Yeah, it's not one
That's
you think of
yeah.
like
Um,
automatically when you think of a funny
right.
movie.
I think it's great. It's definitely worth the watch. It's something to sit down and um, give up an hour and a half, 2 hours,
Good coming of age movie, just
and
nonsense.
I feel good sitting down and watching it and having a good time. You're definitely going to have that. So
Yeah,
I would recommend it, but it's not the best movie that's been ever made for sure. So like I
sounds good
said,
to me.
but I think it was a good one.
It's good, man. I
I,
like it.
do
Highly
you think
recommend
we ought
watching
to?
the second one.
Yeah, should we put the second one on the wheel just to see if it pops
We
up?
should put the second on the
Uh,
wheel just for, it'll probably be 6 months from now whenever it hits, but
Yeah, for sure.
you never know.
Or it might be next week. That would be
It
wild.
could be. You have to
Yeah,
tune
it's
in to find
random.
out.
Random. Um, I appreciate all of our listeners and watchers. Um,
Happy
tell us in the
holidays.
yeah, happy holidays. Tell us in the comments what you thought about 21 Jump Street. And
If there's any other movies you want maybe us to
yeah,
throw on the wheel,
for sure. Add them in the comment section and we'll put them in there and hopefully it hits. So,
thank y'all again.
all right,
This
appreciate
has
it.
been Josh.
And TCAT.
See y'all.
There you go.